play. So nice. So tell me this now, when it comes to sort of, if you had to give advice to someone who's looking at expanding their avenues and is looking at sort of, managing different things with balance and ease, what would you say are like three things that they really need to, it's like sort of three thumb rules in that sense?
First thing, obviously, like Sadhguru says, like Krishna says, ground yourself in yoga. Because when you are firstly grounded in yoga, anything else is possible. Anything. You could go to, I was today, in fact, just looking at it, right from Steve Jobs to like any single person who's reached the peaks and heights of the point where they have influence and can change the world. All of them at some point in their life have had contact or a communication with a spiritual aspect or a guru or a being of this nature, somewhere or the other. If you look at it, nobody who's at that level of power and influence at a global level, they haven't gone untouched from spirituality. Something has come. Like for example, at Steve Jobs' funeral, they distributed autobiography for yogi to every single person who attended. Now, a person of that caliber is saying, I am died, but this is here for you to take it forward.
I think he also went to Neem Keroli Baba's ashram with his youth, right? Yeah.
So every single person, if you truly want to do something more than just survive, if your vision is larger than just your own, I will marry, have kids, have a house, car, and that's all you want to do, that's also fine. No judgment about that. But if you have a vision larger than that or greater than that, where you think this is impossible to do, but you want to do that or achieve that, first yoga. That's the starting point.
That is so beautiful, yeah.
I think the second one would be maybe to kind of, I've learned this honestly from my husband. I was a person who was very, very, I would get freaked out by everything. Like, oh, the line is not straight, let me just fix that, or this is not gone at the right time, or the email had to be going at 8 a.m. or something like that. I was always that kind of person who wanted it done the way it has to be done. And when he came into my life, he kind of just introduced life to me as just play. He treats it as a game. He treats it as lightly as it should be taken. So when I freak out about these things, he's a very gentle reminder and a very constant reminder to play, like to just simply play. And this is a game, and you just got to have fun while doing it. So while you may have a big dream and you may have a very big vision or a big sort of thing that you're wanting to achieve and go for it, but don't forget to have fun while doing it. What's the point? What's the point of getting there when you realize that the journey there was so miserable that you hated it all along? So whether it is designing something or whether it is like, making your registration notes or making like notes or doing accounting or finance, like it has to be enjoyable. It has to be something that you participated in and you didn't regret spending that time doing it. So not every task is maybe earth-shatteringly a breakthrough, like maybe doing the dishes is not like that. But if you take it as play, if you just take it lightly, like, okay, fine, I let's time myself, I'm going to do this in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to play this really awesome song and let's do it together. And it's play, it's not as dreadful anymore, and it's not as boring anymore. So I think the third one would be, this advice is from a very close friend of mine, my childhood friend. I was going through a really low period where I was just stooping very low, where I was like, okay, I'm good for nothing is working for me, and it happens to the best of the best. And I was at one of my lows, and I gave him a call, and he lives in Switzerland, and I was like, hey, I haven't spoken to you for months, but I'm having a shit day, and I just need to say that. And he's like, what's up? And he's like, I'm not going to say it's going to get better because that's bullshit. So he gave me this piece of advice where he's like, life is not really about these big things. It's just having these small challenges for yourself, like small little things that you decide. Like, I have a task that I'm going to, let's say, learn how to play the guitar in the next 40 days. That's a small challenge. And that's what keeps you going. As many things as you can, and that's also a way to explore and live life to the fullest. Like, why limit yourself to, I will only do this? So he's like, I bought this music pad sort of a thing, and I'm learning how to make music on that, and that's my new challenge. One fine day he decided I'm going to do stand-up comedy in the middle of Switzerland where he doesn't even get their jokes. And so, and that was his challenge, and he
Right.
went out there, like he went out there weekend after weekend, and it didn't work. That was besides the point. But the fact that he did, and he put himself out there and went after that little task that he had assigned for himself, made him experience a larger slice of life. It just gave him something more than I went to work, came back, and that was it. So, and that is what I had lost for a period of time, where I was like, no, you know what, nothing's working. I want nothing to do, and this is it.
Yeah.
And I slowly began. I was like, okay, maybe I started with 10 years back. I used to sing and I used to love singing. So maybe I'll start that again. And it was such a big mountain at that point. How will I do this? Maybe my voice is gone. I can't do this anymore. And I was like, okay, let's just sign up for the first session. We'll see. And turned out brilliantly. And I'm singing every single day. So I would say just small little things that give you more of life, and but giving it a certain timeline, giving it a certain structure. Not saying I will write a book one day and then never really getting to it. Saying I will write a book one day, that one day happens to be 1 year from now, or I will do this and I would like to finish it in the next 20 minutes. You know, so that keeps you sort of going.
On the ball
There has
also,
to be
yeah.
some structure to it, but also wildness to it. Like I want to do things are as wild as I want to live in Japan for a year or two, and I believe I will do that someday. I just don't know when yet. So,
Wow.
so
Wow, this is so inspiring, Abhay. I feel like you could be like a motivational speaker as well if you wanted to. Probably like 6 months down the line, you could be doing that. Given your sort of energy and your drive, I'm sure you will. So this is so cool. You
I
know,
wouldn't
I'm
pass
feeling
myself.
this. I'm feeling like this new surge of energy just watching you talk about this.